Okay, Algebra 1. All right. Until, that's the word. I was not doing well in Algebra 1 until I did what? Right? What is it going to take to make the difference? If you're watching this video because you didn't do well on this quiz, what happened? And especially if you got all 100s on your Khan Academy, what happened? Because these questions are exactly like Khan Academy questions, although they're not Khan Academy. So let's go over them. Solve the system. These first two systems are easy to solve because they already have opposites. Okay, so the 4x and the negative 4x, they cancel out. Because what we want to do is we want to add the equations together. So they cancel. Can you tell me what 8 plus 2 is? I know it's 10. 10y equals, I'm going to have to type here, negative 10. Oh gosh. All right. So then what do? We divide both sides by 10 and y equals negative 1. Right? Divide by 10. Divide. Negative 10 divided by 10 is negative 1. Of course, we're not done there. You got to substitute that back in, figure out what x is. So about the top equation is 4x plus 8y equals 20. So let's do 4x plus 8 times negative 1 equals 20. And then simplify. 4x minus 8 equals 20. But our variables on the left, it is, and numbers on the right. So that would be 4x equals 20 plus 8. When the term switches sides, it also switches sign. So now we get 4x equals 28. And now we know divide both sides by 4. X. All right, so that's how we do that. So select tool. Okay, so you can write that. Now the same thing happens here. The x's cancel again, and this time, how many y's do we have? Yeah, 5 plus 4 is 9y equals negative 9. Add those together. Again, y equals negative 1. Substitute. And then we get negative 6x minus 5 equals 1. So we get negative 6x equals 6, and then we get x equals negative 1. All right, so those are the first two. Now, let's go on. Now this says, what is the result of subtracting the equations from each other? So I'm going to write it. I'm going to write it like this. So negative 4x minus x, right? 9y minus negative 3y, and 9 minus negative 6. That's what it looks like when we subtract the equations from each other. So negative 5x, 9 minus, that's 12y, and that's plus, that's going to be 15. Should have said negative 5x, y equals 15. Okay. Next one, negative 3x minus negative 9x. That would be negative 3 plus 9, 6x. And then 7y minus 5y, 2y. And then negative 16. A lot of people put 0 for this. But you can clearly see is negative 32 because they're both negative. So careful with your rules of integers, because in Algebra 1, we can practice it, but it's supposed to be understood that you know rules of integers. But if you want to practice it, you just got to ask. All right, because if you knew you had to subtract, but you got the wrong subtraction, which I did see a lot, it's because you made a mistake with the rules of integers. Now, these are the two more difficult systems to solve, but we're going to take one step first, and then we'll be right back to a situation like we were in with 1 and 2. All right, so what is that step? That's the common denominator step. So we can choose to cancel out the x's or the y's. Let's just cancel out the x's there first, right? So I switch, swatch, right? See the 7, 4, I made 4, 7. Ooh, flip it. And that way they'll both be the same number. Now they have to be opposites. So that right now they're not opposites. So let's make one negative. That'll work. All right, let's do the same thing. Let's cancel out the x's. Mr. Field, can you cancel out the y's? Yes. Actually, let's cancel out the y's. Because look, they're already positive, negative, so I don't need to add a negative there. So I'm going to do my swatch. 7, 2. Okay, now I can type. So, rewriting the top equation, it will be 28x plus 32y. I'm doing the multiplication in my head. -4 times the top row. -4 times 9 is -36. Bottom row is -28x plus 63y equals, what is 22 times 7? That's like, all right, so 20 times 7 is 140, and then plus 14 is 154. Hopefully. Okay, then we see the x's cancel, right? Then how many y's we have? We have 5, and then the 95. 95y equals, and they're both negative, so add those together. And then 8. Okay, I'm having trouble adding these together. 36 and 154. Let's go like this. What if I made a big mistake? 190. I knew it was 190. Just for the record. All right. Okay, so anyway, so 95y equals 190. -190. Then if you divide, you end up, that would be -2. Okay, and then we substitute in -2 for y. And actually, I think it is easier to solve for y first in this one. That's division. All right, so -7x plus 16 equals 9. And then -7x equals 9 minus 16 on the other side. What's 9 minus 16? 7. X equals -7. X equals +1. Alrighty. So now let's do this one. -28x minus 14y equals 70, and then the 28, and that would be 108. I hope. All right. 70 and 28. So wait, did I say that? 70 and 28 is 90. Yeah. 2 times, that's -20x plus 14y equals -50. And the y's are going to cancel. Okay, so the y's cancel, and then we get -48x equals, what's 98 minus 50? 48. Hey, that's easy. It's just going to be -1. So I'm going to substitute in. I wish this computer had the little keep number pad. All right. Then we're just putting our numbers on the right, that number off the left side. All right. Go. Did I mess up? This is -9. Well, let's so -2y equals negative. Oh, okay, yeah. So 14 minus 4 is 10. All right, we're y equals -5. All right. Any questions? Raise your hand and ask. Moving right along. Now this one, solving. So it's like you might be like, we didn't do that for a whole week. I didn't know that. Well, stop forgetting everything as soon as you learn it. All right. Slope-intercept form is an essential piece of knowledge that everyone in this class has to have. You have to know how to graph a line, and you have to know it for longer than a week. So one easy thing you could do is just go to the organizer and search up your name and then look back through the problems you posted. Go back a few weeks and then it won't take you long to remember what you practice because you put a lot of work into it. All right, so let's start at the y-intercept. And we'll put our first point. Our slope is -2, so I'm going to go down to right 1, put another point. And then here I'll start at the y-intercept of -2. And I'll go down to over 1. So several people were like, I don't want to graph it. I know already what it is just by looking at it. But the graph is here on the quiz, so graph it. Don't tell me I can't show my work. And just tell me, Mr. Field, I need to lose points because I can't show my work. And I'll take the retake and get the points back. All right, don't try to say stuff. See, there we go. Now we can clearly see that there is no solution. Because why? The lines do not. All right. And now, next one. So we're going to start at our y-intercept of 2. I'm graphing this one right here. And then we're going to go down 3, right 2. Another point. And then this one, start on my y-intercept of -2. I'm going to go down 1, right 2. And then I'll graph my lines. There we go. Okay. I can clearly see that these lines are intersecting. Intersecting lines have one solution because the lines intersect. All right. Very good. How many solutions does the equation have? So you just have to solve this, but you might not have to go the whole way because you know that if something cancels, then there's going to be infinite or no solution. So let's just multiply the top by 5 and the bottom by 2, and then we'll see what happens. And here we'll do the switcheroo, 3, 5. See, I'm just switching them. Make that negative because they're both positive. All right, let's go on an adventure here and see what happens. 10x plus 40y equals 5 times 6 is 30. Negative 10x minus 40y. Equals negative 30. Look at what happened. You get opposites. So everything cancels on both sides. 0 equals 0. What does that mean? Infinite solutions. All right. Now let's do the other one. Negative 15x minus 12y equals 30, and then 12 is 42. 15x plus 30y equals 30. X's cancel, the y's don't cancel. No problem there. All right, so there you go. There are all the solutions. You can post in the organizer about your questions about why. And if you post in the organizer about your questions about why for the Khan Academy, and you get honest 100%, and you don't try to play me and say, let me just get 100% so I can go to class and I already know I have my grade. No, because if you do that, then you're not going to get help, because you just put yourself in a group that's supposed to be the helper. So don't do that, because you won't do well on the quiz. And I don't like it. And I don't think you like it either. All right, bye everyone. See you in class.